Welcome to this Windows and Computer channel, and this is the Tech News Update. We are Tuesday, October 16th, 2018. And today, in our Tech News Update, we have more than half of companies that have suffered data breach or data leaks actually thought that they were very safe. This comes out of a report that says that businesses totally underestimate the dangers of being online, and they just don't prepare for cyber attacks. So this is interesting and, probably explains why there's so many cyber attacks happening and data breach that are successful. Well, Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft with Bill Gates, passed away yesterday at the age of 65. He was diagnosed with cancer and was being treated to try to, get better. It's a cancer that he had in 2009 that unfortunately came back. Bill Gates, of course, has issued a statement saying that, he wishes all the best for the family and that he's very, very sad about this event. Allen was a philanthropist, giving away more than $2 billion for the better of education and environment, and basically was still giving little, tips and tricks to Microsoft as to how they should handle and how they should go through the future. So this is one of the big ones. This is almost like having one of the major kind of creators of all the technologies of today going away. Well, Microsoft has announced that it will be disabling the TLS 1.0 and 1.1, which is the transport layer security. That's used to kind of secure the connections within your web browser. It, of course, favors the newer, more secure 1.2 version. Now, it says that this will happen in 2020, and that right now, as 2018, 94% of websites are compatible with 1.2. The fact that they're giving up to 2020 is going to give some time for the 6% of websites left to update. And in the statistics that they get from Microsoft Edge, apparently 99.2% of the connections are on 1.2, meaning there's really not a lot of websites that are visited that are still using 1.0 or 1.1. European telecommunications giants say that there needs to be much more investment to be done in order for Europe to not fall behind in the deployment of 5G networks. And of course, one of the reasons why is a study was saying that the first nations to have 5G are often the nations where the economy goes the best. So being behind means that you might have more difficulty to compete with the rest of the world. Well, if you use the Do Not Track feature in your web browser, it seems that most websites totally ignore it. And of course, we're going to talk about that because I think this is something that is kind of an interesting news item. Basically, big websites like Google, Yahoo, totally ignore the requests to not track when your browser asks for it. And the reason behind this, there's just no regulations. So if they ignore it, they won't get, any bad publicity or anything bad or any fines because there's just nothing around to kind of secure this. So do not track seems that it's pretty much useless. Apple is sorry, but there's a fact that a small number of Chinese Apple IDs apparently have been compromised, and the payment methods have been stolen, according to the top two Chinese payment services, Alipay and WeChat Pay. And of course, Apple says we're sorry. Apple says also there's a side of this security that needs to be understood is that users need to have two-factor authentication to make things safer. Google CEO says that it is very important to explore the search in China, as he talked at the Wired 25 conference. As Google services have not been used there, or not there right now, not in existence pretty much, he said that it's actually a great way to have Google get a foothold in the Chinese market. But at the same time, he said that the Chinese Google search might never be launched also. So don't worry, it's not something that's a done deal. It might never exist. A study from Pew Research says that 47% of Americans say they can identify a chat if a chat is made by a bot rather than a real human. But the study also shows that most people think bots are bad, when yet many of them are actually there to help. But the study does show that there's really a thin line, and it's basically machine and human are getting much more difficult to draw a line and understand where are we or when are we talking to a bot or a human. And this is not going to get better. As you know, bots get even more powerful, they'll totally be impossible to see if it's a bot or not. A Malwarebytes cybercrime report took a big look at the threats from July to September of 2018, and it noticed that there was a 1.7 million more attempts to attack businesses in the third quarter of this year than the last year at the same time, and that bad guys are getting extremely creative, meaning that you are more and more at risk of getting a data breach in your business if you're not careful. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella was talking at the Wire 25 conference, says that the antitrust laws don't really understand what tech is all about, and that it wants to make sure that Microsoft's technologies are used for good. As many are still criticizing Facebook for its problem with fake news and election meddling, it now will ask UK political ads to show who is paying for the ads, which honestly I don't think fixes any problem, because you can have, you know, that money sent to whatever and have a payment from there and say, oh, he's paying for it. But anyways, you know, it's apparently trying to tackle with all of this, as a recent report seems to show that Facebook is kind of losing the fight with fake news and political problems. And this was the Tech News Update for Tuesday, October 16th, 2018. You enjoy our videos? Please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.